Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. The XRP ledger is reportedly shifting its focus to our tokenization, as reported by the CTO. Companies like JPMorgan and Bank of America are pursuing this process of tokenizing real-world assets. And as we delve deeper into this, we see that JPMorgan and Bank of America are involved. They are essentially mimicking the XRP ledger. And they're doing it in a rather notable centralized fashion because the idea of tokenizing assets, which people were talking about long before I got into crypto, but which I've been talking about for the last 6 years, was certainly conceived of by David Schwartz and his crews. In 2011, Jed McCaleb and Arthur Brito fit that description. In June of 2012, XRP was officially launched. Therefore, they thought it was a good concept more than a decade ago. There may be something to this tokenization business, say some of the world's greatest financial institutions like JPMorgan and Bank of America. It's possible that this has some merit. Now, that's 2023, then comes the inevitable follow-up question: how should one go about tokenizing? The XRP ledger and pretty much everything else in existence today were both developed as closed systems by authoritative bodies. And I think, ultimately, big picture, the truth is that it may not be either, and is likely not going to be a one-size-fits-all, based on the use case, risk tolerances, and specific parameters of whatever it is you're working on. In a decentralized system like the XRP ledger, however, this data will always have a utility. This is why XRP and the XRP ledger have seen such rapid acceptance. It looks like it's here to stay. Did we have a decent idea a decade ago? Indeed, those were the very first stages. In light of David Schwartz's thoughts on this Ripple CTO, I will now share them with you. However, before we go any further, I should state that I am not a financial expert and am not giving any sort of financial advice. Nothing I say is correct, so you shouldn't use it to buy or sell anything. I'm merely a hobbyist who finds fun in discussing cryptography in the form of YouTube videos, but only as a pastime and for recreation. Ripple CTO David Schwartz has stated that the XRP ledger is progressing towards real-world asset tokenization, or RWA for short. A phenomenon that major financial institutions like JPMorgan and Bank of America are investigating. In a recent interview, Schwartz reflected on the development of the XRP ledger, noting with delight that the technology underpinning the ledger is receiving more attention these days rather than a complete fixation on XRP. It's a token for gas. Even if you ignore the price stuff, which, frankly, we as speculators here are doing, there is significantly more focus on XRP in the XRP ledger. So many things are important to us. And it's only right that we do. Furthermore, obviously, there would be no reason for speculators like us to be present in the space. I hope you succeed in starting your project. Although speculators often get a bad rap, it's important to remember that not everyone views our line of work with the same disdain. Yes, I agree. Nonetheless, I am grateful for the existence of other people. And you're making the market for it, with all the liquidity and such. Because if there isn't real value, you can forget about making a DAP. A new blockchain on top of that one is difficult to bootstrap, especially in 2023. And so I just think we should adequately value the speculators that have propped up this entire ecosystem for the entirety of that time, which is now over a decade. That's all I wanted to say. There are currently, and have been steadily increasing numbers of developers, building on top of the XRP ledger. If you look at the last year, you can see that it's been trending in the right way and improving. Back when I first got into crypto and when I first started this channel, half a decade ago, I said that utility mattered and will win out in the end, and I think that's why chains with more developer activity are more likely to survive. Okay, I can get it. Most people just don't give a hoot. And modern space is incredibly intricate. Totally got it. However, that is the honest truth. And the piece has the wave in it. Token XRP can still be purchased, held, and traded, according to the CTO. He did, however, emphasize that the underlying technology that drives the XRP ledger is far more intriguing than the token itself. Yes, a brief remark on that. That's not unreasonable at all. Being a speculator myself, I've held XRP for over 6 years. I can tell you that things like the price are of utmost importance to me. From a purely technical standpoint, however, the XRP ledger is the more intriguing option. This, however, is the cool part. They are so intertwined. So even if you want, it's not as exciting because I already have the token's source code. What happens, however, is that as adoption grows, use cases can be unlocked by developing applications on top of the XRP and the ledger. Understand that XRP itself is required for all of that. So to me, it's intertwined in such a way that all the stuff that isn't XRP specific, even if it's XRP, ledger specific, to me, it's pretty much equally interesting. Do most of you feel that way? Because I've always felt that way. Like, I've always been super interested in just random development on the XRP ledger, because I understand that the more developers building on top of the ledger and the more traction we get there, the more staying power we have in those regards, the higher the price ultimately for XRP, right? More XRP getting news, more interest surrounding it, more people speculating on it, supply and demand does its thing, right? Now a piece continues. He further called attention to the XRP ledger is unique nature at the early stage of blockchain adoption, noting that the network was the first layer 1 blockchain not built from the Bitcoin technology during the 2011-2012 period, quote from David Schwartz. So it's exciting to see more focus on the technology. You're right. Institutional adoption of the XRP ledger technology is growing in this quote. Yep, definitely go in the right direction. And I don't know how many of you aware of this fun little facts, but as cited in the article, that is correct. XRP ledger is the first blockchain in existence that was created from scratch. After Bitcoin. It's the first everything. So there's Bitcoin first, obviously, but up to that point, every new cryptocurrency was actually just a clone of Bitcoin. The code, which is open source, was copied, and then tweaked in X number of ways, whatever they're doing to try to make it better. And that was that. But XRP was the first, they were like, now let's just scrap all that the ideas need, it makes sense. But let's just try and make an entirely better version of that. We'll just use an entirely different consensus mechanism. So we're not going to use proof of work, there's no mining, and they came up with it. And these are people who are very fond of Bitcoin. There's obviously representing the major problems in terms of scaling in the future. Boy, did they hit the nail on the head on that one, right? But they thought that there's a better way to do this. And here we are a decade later, with XRP. Not even close to approaching a scaling issue. Not even close. Anyway, piece continues. According to him, part of the reason behind this growing interest and adoption is the heritage that the network was built around. He confirmed that the original architects, including him, built the XRP ledger for enterprise finance applications and cross-border payments. Yeah. And so that's in line with what I remember him saying, like half a decade ago, whenever it was, because when he talked about the idea of what the origins what's the origins of XRP in the XRP ledger, it was just to build a better Bitcoin. And he said, it always said that it would have something to do with payments, just in general, at least loosely, something to do with payments. It's just that they didn't know exactly what that would look like. It would be skin continues. He noted that in the early days, he and the other architects were looking at ways to bolster enterprise adoption for solutions like Bitcoin. For such adoption to occur, they would need to establish bridges, connections, and other pivotal technologies. Schwartz then revealed that he is extremely excited about delving into real-world asset tokenization. He stressed that establishing efficient tokenization of real-world assets has grown to be a real problem. The XRP ledger is positioned to solve this problem. And of course, now pause, denote it. Isn't it cool as hell that the XRP ledger has the world's first ever decentralized exchange? And it's the first platform where you can create new tokens on it. And it may be the case at this point, and fine, Ethereum is most famously known for that, especially with its smart contract functionality. It's easy to understand why, and the coins that were getting built on there specifically, because there's that smart contract functionality. But the XRP ledger is the first blockchain in existence where that was possible. And so here's a quote from Schwartz: "Real-world asset tokenization is something that I'm pretty excited about right now, because that's a real problem. And there's real interest from mainstream financial giants like JPMorgan and Bank of America, which are actively pursuing tokenization of traditional assets in quote books." You could find videos from me from literally half a decade ago where I'm talking about this. And I'm not pretending like I'm the only one, but we saw this coming as a community, did we not? An increasingly liquid world where everything ultimately under the sun is tokenized unless there's some reason where it doesn't make sense. Okay, fine. I mean, I'm not going to tokenize my pet peeve, probably right, which is my lovely 8-year-old little terrier mix. I'm probably not going to tokenize her. Although even then I've seen instances brought up where there's a discussion. This is from years ago, I might have mentioned on the channel years ago, where somebody was talking about why they'd want to tokenize a horse. And it might sound silly on the performance of the surface. But there's actual reasons for that, you know, when it comes to like horse racing, or this or that, or various people investing in specific horses, and the horse breeding, the whole 9 yards, because there's a whole industry surrounding that. And it actually can make sense to tokenize a horse and living creatures. I know, it sounds silly, deservers, but there's seemingly good reasons by that anyway. But the point is, you're gonna be in an increasingly tokenized world. That's what we're talking about here. And you'll be able to get in and out of all sorts of various assets that are tokenized very quickly. And in order to do that, on platforms where you're not going to have a trading pair for everything, you won't, of course, and people are going to use all sorts of different platforms to get in and out of positions, you're always going to need a bridge. And XRP is great for that, for connecting various platforms. You just need XRP, which is non-jurisdictional and decentralized on various platforms, and it has been broadly adopted. And then outside of that, if you don't want to worry about that, the cool thing is for everything that is tokenized, on the XRP ledger itself, bam, it's right there, it's done. You can get in and out of any position that's right there. So it doesn't make sense to house a bunch of it on the XRP ledger. I'm just noting that even if not, because XRP itself is so liquid, relatively speaking, you know, and compared to other cryptocurrencies, you can still, even if assets are on different platforms, you can still have that quick movement, which is cool as hell. So you can see how this is starting to flesh out now that more time is passing. And with these continues projected to hit $30 trillion by 2030, the tokenization industry has become a hot topic in the crypto scene, with projects such as Floki looking to jump on it. Anthony Welfare, Ripple's CBDC advisor, revealed in July that Ripple aims to transform the real estate industry through tokenization. In a previous interview, David Schwartz expressed his desire to see the XRP ledger serve as the go-to platform for tokenized real-world assets. He noted that the XRP ledger boasts all the attractive features for this purpose, including low fees. There you have it. It's something that we've known is coming forever. But this is just as time passes further validation. We were on the right path, and we're on the right path now. It's all and more people are coming. And so which is so astonishing that we've had this opportunity to be so early in the development of this and to actually invest in a token, which is part of this whole thing. It makes it all possible. What arrived, folks, it's good stuff. So that's why I always say yeah, I love to track price action of XRP. I was curious as you and everybody else that holds XRP because we got skin in the game that makes it super duper interesting. I'm just making the broader point that when it comes to developments within the XRP ledger that requires the utility of XRP, that ultimately does impact the price. So we should be probably equally interested, I would argue. I'm not a financial advisor, you should not buy yourself anything because of anything I say, right? And please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.